Hey guys, this is Mr. Dixon. I'm here today to record this lesson as we go through it. This is going to be part of our remote work or modern classroom project, right? We're just trying to update and upgrade how we are going through courses, hopefully to make this a little easier on you guys to manage in the future. You'll notice I'm a little casual and relaxed. I'm trying to make this be a fun process for me and for you guys. So, ideally, what this is going to do is free up some talk time in class. That way, you guys don't have to sit there and listen to me drone on and on. And if you're behind, here's a direct video of what we're covering for the week, etc. Right? So, that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to move this screencast part here up to the top, okay? Um, so today we're talking about symbolism, right? Finding meanings in symbols. This is going to be real important for our surrealism project later. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. I want you guys to look at this picture of this beach here, right? Um, there's so many different things we can see. We can see a bridge, right? It's kind of a rickety bridge, right? The grass itself, there's all sort of different grass. Then there's waves, right? So this is a photograph. It's a photograph of the scene without people, right? So that can be a good thing. Uh, but what each of these things in this picture mean are also going to be different, right? So let's go ahead and go through this slideshow. I want you guys to look at this picture of a beach. So on the surface, it's really just a simple photograph, but if we had to gather extra meaning, for instance, if the photographer was a fan of symbolism, then we would be expected to look deeper. And that's really a practice we should get into as you guys get into upper education. And as you grow older, you'll find out that sometimes people don't just say what they mean, right? All of language is a complex thing. It's especially English. English is difficult. It borrows words, it loans words, right? Things can mean two things, right? And that brings us to the next paragraph. Remember, things can be two things. That's from a show that I like, but it matters for this. So, especially in creative works like visual arts, movies, television, or books, um, symbols basically mean that some things are one way, sometimes they're a different way, right? So, let's think about this picture. What does this picture make you think of? And I want you to think about how it makes you feel, right? And you can respond in the question box down below. Okay. So let's talk about symbols, right? There's a lot that we can say about symbols and symbolism. For instance, this one, right? So let me ask you this. What do you guys call this symbol? The different things you're gonna call it are gonna be different, right? It could be the no symbol. It could be the band symbol. It could be the Ghostbuster symbol, if you draw a little ghost on it. Let's see here. Yeah, it could even be the ghost symbol if you draw a little ghost on it, right? Let's attempt to do something like that. We're gonna draw the ooh, what do we do? Zoom in, exit drawing. There we go. Well, you guys get the idea, right? It's kind of the Ghostbusters thing. But there's a thousand different other intricate meaning things that, it could be as well. So let's move on. What do you guys think about this symbol? That's a smiley face emoji, right? However, each of you is going to have an individual emotional connection with that, right? Whatever you interpret it to be internally, whatever your inner meaning is going to be different, right? Um, that's just the nature of symbols. So this could be a smiley face, but if you look closer, it's not exactly yellow, right? It's not colored necessarily the way it should be. So maybe it means something different, right? And then let's think about this symbol, right? That could mean a lot of different things. It could mean love. It could mean care. It could mean compassion, right? It could mean peace. It could mean And let's think about it. We've talked about the Romans and the Greeks and the art history portion. They had at least seven different words for different kinds of love, right? So this concept here, even though this is just a visual symbol of a heart, it could mean a lot of different things, right? Now let's get a little abstract, okay? So remember, what you feel, what you think, and what you've experienced can change your personal meaning for a symbol. So what does this symbol, and excuse me while I move this webcam, what does this symbol mean to you? The last slide that we were on, it was a heart, but now it's a broken heart, right? It could mean broken love, broken trust, broken compassion, right? It could even be, for some of you, for instance, if you've got a heart locket, right? It could be a symbol of two halves of a heart coming together, right? It's really all about how you look at it and what your individual meaning is for things. And that's going to be something that you're going to have to find out based on your emotions, right? Based on your inner world. So now for the fun part, Mr. Dixon's fish story. So once upon a time, I went fishing with my dad. We often used to fish at La Fortune Park. There's a small retention pond that has a ton of smaller fish there. My dad used to make his own bait. And when I think about those days, I think of a lot of different sense memories, right? It's stuff up here that you're going to remember, things that just pop up associated with it, right? The way our brains work is we map things in concentric bubbles. Memories are connected to other things through different sensations, right? So, in particular, when I see a fish, I think of these things. I think of the smell of lake water, the weird squishy texture of fishing lures. I don't know if you guys have ever messed with a fishing lure or not, but they're those gummy, plastic gummy things, right? Um, I think about the putrid smell of the homemade bait Dad made, and that was usually a mixture of dough and other strong smelling, spicy stuff, like dried habanero flakes, right? I also think of the time when I was a wee little kid, maybe 9 or 10. We were fishing out at another lake, and I caught a sunfish. Sunfish are gorgeous fish. They've got this nice big dorsal spine up here. If you follow the cursor on the top of the fish, whoops. Anyway, so that's my story about the fish, right? The the last thing I was going to say is the spine on the dorsal fin up here, I believe, is what it's called, wound up slicing my hand open. So, when I think of fish, I also think of that slimy texture on the fin. I think of sharpness. I think of the sight of blood, right? So, everything is going to have different things associated with it. And that's the essence of symbolism, right? Um, so I want you guys to consider this fish, and I want you to think, what does it mean to you? And it's not just this fish, right? I mean, if you've worked in an aquarium, different fish may have different meanings, right? But there really aren't any wrong answers to this question. I'm just wondering, what do fish, or what is the idea of a fish mean to you? What are your sense impressions of fish? Do you find them scaly, slimy, bizarre, watery? You know, like I said, there's not really a wrong answer. And maybe if you're like me, um, you like fish sometimes to eat, right? Um, so, the taste sensation is going to be different too. Um, Even the time of day has its own connotations for you as an individual. So, what's your favorite time of day, and why would that be? Uh, let's take a look at this picture on the left. What exactly are we looking at? What is this visual depiction of this time of day? What does it make you feel, right? And then let's think about this. How do rainy days affect you? What do these pictures mean to you? Um, anyway, rain is going to give you different weather, or sorry, different feelings. Um, Snow is going to give you a different feeling. Different times of day are going to give you different feelings. Maybe you had a breakup in the morning, right? Maybe you had a breakup over breakfast at a certain place, and so every time you see a pancake, you think of the breakup, right? These are just examples. But anyway, so to recap, objects can be representative of sense memories. They can be stand-ins for other things. Everything around us in our outer world has connections with our inner world. We can express these emotional ties or sense memories through a number of creative channels. And one way to do this is by using symbolism. Um, anyway,